solid-state design was developed to last for years of maintenance-free service. The installation should take us about 2 hours. We're going to be installing on a 2007 Kenworth with a 550 cat engine. Let me tell you just a little about the FMZ. Its continuous load monitoring enables the FMZ to manage the horsepower in real time based on the demand. We're going to be controlling both the acceleration and the horsepower. This assures that all the power needed is available without wasting any fuel. And because we cause the vehicle to be driven efficiently, it's a bolt-on improvement in fuel economy that can save up to 15%. Hey, let's go ahead and get started with this installation.
All right, the first thing we're going to do is gain access to the accelerator pedal position sensor. Often you'll be removing a panel. You're going to be looking right down at the throttle pedal to locate this. Once the panel's removed, you'll be able to see the connections there. We're going to disconnect the accelerator pedal position sensor from the vehicle's ECM. It's a factory connection and really simple. We're not going to make any permanent modifications here to the vehicle. Next thing we're going to do is we're going to locate the position where we're going to install the FMZ. Commonly it's going to be right behind the dash panel. You can see amongst all these wires, actually we've got a pretty good amount of space to install the FMZ. On this tractor, we're able to connect an unused clock connection to provide the continuous power for the FMZ. It's a great find. If needed though, you can go to the dash fuse panel or any other battery constant power connection source. Here we've located the connection between the truck's pneumatic suspension system and the dashboard pressure gauge. This is the simplest installation. It'll be really easy on this Kenworth. Now we're going to go ahead and route the FMZ harnesses from the throttle pedal position sensor to the location where the FMZ will be installed. And then go ahead, route the other harness for the FMZ that's going to go onto the ECM right to the location where you're going to install the FMZ. We're not going to make any connections at this point. We'll come back to that here just in a little bit. Now let's go ahead and connect the FMZ wire harnesses to the corresponding connectors from the accelerator pedal position sensor and from the ECM. Just pull that extra wire from the harness on up into that location, secure them well so they're not going to be in the way of the driver. This is the diagnostic port for the FMZ. The diagnostic port assembly consists of a diagnostic port, the power and ground connections, and a connector that plugs into the FMZ. Okay, let's find that spot behind the dash panel here to install the diagnostic port. Let's make sure it's securely fastened to the vehicle. You'll be connecting and disconnecting for programming and adjustments of the FMZ. As you can see, all of the connections on the FMZ are color-coded and different. It really eliminates the possibility of making an incorrect connection. Just make sure that after all the connections are made, you give each of them a pull, making sure they're real secure. Now go ahead and install the pneumatic pressure line to the FMZ. They're all push-to-pull connects for the pneumatic suspension. Now secure the FMZ using heavy wire ties, bolts, or self-tapping screws. In this installation, we found that we were able to use the wire ties and secure it to other bundles of wire there in the dash or to any framing. This really makes the installation simple and secure. Remember, in this installation, we were lucky enough to find a clock harness that we were able to plug into for continuous power. Other options for these connections can usually be found in the fuse panel. Just make sure you've got an always-on battery connection. And you want to make sure that they're secure, that nothing would come loose under the vibration of the vehicle. You can see on the diagnostic port that alternating LEDs indicate your electrical connections are complete and correct. Go ahead, locate and cut the pneumatic suspension line and install the filter between the pneumatic suspension system and the FMZ. You're going to utilize the 1/4-inch DOT approved tubing that was supplied and the push to connect T to connect the piece of tubing to the FMZ and the supplied air filter. Now we're going to go ahead and replace any of the components that we removed to gain access. Let's be real careful as you're pushing everything back in there that you're not getting any kinks in any of the air lines. Let's go ahead and replace any of the components that were removed to gain access, and we've got the installation darn near complete. Now we're going to get ready to program the FMZ. Let's plug the Nexus USB link into the truck's diagnostic port, and then we'll plug the diagnostic cable into the FMZ's diagnostic port. Plug the USB ends of the Nexus USB link and the FMZ diagnostic cable into your computer. Now let's go ahead and turn the ignition key to the on position, but don't start the vehicle. On your computer, locate the software that you've downloaded previously from the DTI FTP website.
Well, all right, hey, that took about 2 hours. The installation's complete. Keep in mind that in this installation, we had a pneumatic pressure gauge for the suspension right in the dash. It's common that you're not going to have that, and you'll need to go back to the rear axle to grab the pneumatic pressure. In those cases, make certain to confirm prior to the installation what the size of that line is to ensure that you're going to have the proper fittings. Or for mechanical suspension, we've got a couple of different devices, load cells and sensors, that allow us to read the weight on those vehicles as well. Make sure that you refer to the installation manual for a list of all the things that you want to have while performing an installation. And now that the installation is complete, you're going to see immediate improvement. Results in fuel economy, lowered emissions, and lower wear and tear on your vehicle. Hey, check out all of our fuel-saving retrofits at www.dieselti.com. Thanks for hanging with us. We'll see you next time.